Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another video. I am going to have a little discussion with you guys today. Clearly, as you guys can see by the title, you know that this is going to be about my pregnancy thus far, but I am 8 months now, so I feel like I've gone through enough of the pregnancy to be able to give this little recap. I feel like pregnancy is mainly just a time where your body is just going through a million and one changes, mentally, physically, all of the above. And so we're gonna jump right into it and start with trimester number 1. I did actually film a video on my pregnancy when I was in my first trimester, and I changed up the way I wanted to do things, and ultimately just never posted that video. But today we're gonna get everything in one. I found out that I was pregnant when I was like 4 weeks and like some days actually, and the reason why I even took a test in the first place is because of my sister-in-law actually. So Quan and I went to go visit her at her house, and I think it was just something as simple as like how lethargic I was that day. Like, I wasn't sick, nothing was wrong with me, but I wanted to do nothing more than sleep. Like, I had no energy to do anything. Like, I just wanted to sleep, and I kind of feel like I was just like lagging and like dragging around and stuff. And she kind of cracked a joke like, "Girl, you pregnant? Are you sure? You sure you're good?" That type of thing. And I was like, oh, I need to go grab a pregnancy test. The reason why me being that tired was such like a big thing is because I do not sleep. I do not like to sleep for anything. Like, I will stay up hours on end just like actually finding things to do. Like, I just don't sleep, and that's how we ended up finding out. But anyways, so that was actually when I was like 4 weeks and some days. First thing I did was I called up the OB and I made a doctor's appointment. The receptionist also said that I'll be having an ultrasound. That just sounds scary. This is so scary. Like, I'm so nervous. So I am now in the doctor's office. Quan still can't come in yet because right now they're just gonna take my vitals and everything and then put me back in the lobby to wait for them to call me back in. Someone is gonna be in here in like a few minutes, hopefully, to come check my blood pressure, and I don't know what else they just said. Yeah, I don't know what else, but that's what I'm doing right now. I went to the doctor. I wasn't really having any symptoms, like no like implantation cramping or any of that stuff. Like, everything was kind of just fine. That first month or so, speeding it up until I was 12 weeks actually. I found out we did the test to find out the gender of the baby, and on the test is through Natura, Natura, and the test that you do through your doctor's office, and they send in everything and then you get the results back in a matter of weeks. And I think that was like the most exciting part of like my early pregnancy. So the second half of my first trimester was where like everything started crashing. Like, I started feeling some symptoms. Number 1 is nausea. So nausea wasn't like a huge thing for me. It wasn't dragged on. Like, I didn't have nausea for like forever and a day. But the times that I experienced nausea, it was on another level. I did have like a couple weeks where I was always super nauseous. I only threw up once, thank God. I remember that like it was yesterday. Quan and I had just got back from a Spurs basketball game, and I just went to town. Like, I vomited everywhere, like all over the bathroom. Like, it's just this queasy, it's just really bad. Like, experiencing morning sickness is just like, it's just super like queasy feeling. Now, I lost some weight during that time. I did not want to eat anything at all. Could not eat, did not want to eat anyway. Drinking, like even fluids, like, speaking of water, gotta have some water. Even fluids, like, that was just a struggle. Like, I just did not want anything. No food, no drinks, nothing. Something that did happen during this time also, during my first trimester, I experienced pelvic girdle pain. It was excruciating. It was terrible. I remember this, like, I will never forget the pain that I experienced. It was from a Wednesday to a Saturday, and like, I couldn't walk, I couldn't like sit. I would like be super stiff like a board and have to like move like waist down. It was just terrible. The pain was unfathomable. And for those of you that don't know what pelvic girdle pain is, it is just your pelvis stretching and expanding. Like, you guys know pregnancy, your whole body is being beaten up on the inside. Everything is like being pushed this way, stretched, pulled, all of that stuff. Your organs being shifted and moved around. Yeah, so pelvic girdle pain is something that usually happens early on for a good number of women, and that's literally what it is. Your pelvis is just tearing. That's what it felt like. That leads us into our second trimester. The second trimester was where everything happened, like all at once is what it felt like. So one thing that I loved during my second trimester is the time where I felt Cairo move for the first time. I was 17 weeks and one day, I'll never forget, it was after midnight and I felt like a little flutter. I just knew, like, when I felt it, I knew exactly what it was, and I was like, oh my god, like, I was freaking out. I think I texted my mom, texted Quan. It's something so simple, but it felt like something so big, and it was just a really, really cool moment. So we talked about me being super tired, like my fatigue in the first trimester. That's what led me to take the pregnancy test in the first place, but it's not like that was like a thing for me. Like, I wasn't always just super tired, right? Let me tell you. Second trimester came around and fatigue hit like no other. Fatigue came full force. I wanted to do nothing but sleep all the time. Like, I was not it just felt like I could no longer function. There's nothing I could have taken. There's nothing that I could do that would give me enough energy to even like care to be doing anything other than sleeping. Something that was so sad. Okay, this one now was so sad. I could no longer handle anything spicy at all. Being Jamaican, we love pepper. We love spice. We love like all of that. And to this very day, this very second, 4:37 p.m., I cannot even handle black pepper. Even black pepper makes me like, I'm dying, I need some milk. Even black pepper, just a hint, like I just can't. That's something that is a pregnancy thing, and I'm hoping that goes away as soon as I deliver this baby. I also started experiencing swelling in my feet. Like, oh, I think I made mention of this in my Miami baby shower vlog. I'm still trying to put on my anklet, but feet have swollen so badly, like nothing fits me anymore. My shoes that I originally got for the shower, they don't fit anymore. And this is so hard. This is so hard. Everything is like super swollen now. Okay, all of that. So the swelling in my feet is something that I definitely experienced full force. Another funny thing is I actually have not worn even one pair of sneakers after, I think it was like after week 15, so just into my second trimester, I think I stopped wearing sneakers. Like, I've only worn my Crocs and like open-toed shoes every single day. I cannot fit into any of my sneakers at all, and I have so that's something that's pretty weird. As far as cravings, I did not really have any cravings my first trimester. See, everything just picked up in my second trimester. Second trimester, I started craving everything that I don't usually like. Okay, I'm not a fruity, so like when it comes to things like, for example, smoothies, I like milk-based stuff, not like fruity smoothies. So I don't want like a smoothie with a bunch of ingredients and like with an orange juice base, or like in a strawberry juice base or something. Like, I want it like with milk as the base. Like, I like milky stuff. And yeah, no, I wanted nothing of that sort. Everything for me needed to be like a fruit popsicle, like strawberry flavored, nothing milky. If I was making a smoothie here, I needed to have like coconut water base with it, or like a fruit juice base with it. Like, it could not be like, I wasn't going to use milk, and that is my go-to. Like, I love milky things. I also started liking chocolate milk, which is so not me. Chocolate milk and me, you know, it's a pregnancy thing. Chocolate milk was not anything that I didn't grow up on chocolate milk. I didn't like chocolate milk prior to being pregnant. So that was also something that was really weird. Just about the, like, you know, the milky things, creamy things. Creamy is me, you know. I love my Alfredos, but no sir, I liked marinara sauce all of a sudden. I liked tomato pastes all of a sudden. I wasn't like a spaghetti and meatballs person, but I was like a fettuccine Alfredo type of person. But all of a sudden I was spaghetti and meatballs. I was a spaghetti and meatballs person. Like, I liked that type of stuff. It was just so weird. And everything that I started liking, they're all things that Quan loves. I also started taking like the most frequent bathroom breaks in the middle of the night in my second trimester. Like, I would wake up all the time, up to like 6 times a night, between 4 to 6 times a night on average. That was my second trimester, the middle of my second trimester, and then it died down for like the last 3 weeks or so. Also, in my second trimester, I was always out of breath. Second into my third trimester, I was always out of breath. Like, it was, yeah, I want the green one. Like, everything was just such a struggle for me. So that started up in my second trimester. And I also experienced really bad heartburn. I started taking Tums for the heartburn. I eventually started taking Tums, and oddly enough, by the time I decided to go buy the Tums and start taking the Tums, the heartburn went away like 2 days later. Like, I stopped experiencing it. So I struggled with heartburn for about a good 2 to 3 weeks. Like, you always feel like there's like think about like a torch being held to your chest, and that's what it always felt like. Now we're on to trimester 3. So here we are, 8 months pregnant. We are nearing the end. We see the end in sight. And cravings, let's start with that. There are 2 things that I want every single day, and that's cornmeal porridge and fish. But like Jamaican style fish, whether it's escovitch, steamed, brown stew, like fish and cornmeal porridge. Fish I don't have access to because I'm living in Phoenix. And the cornmeal porridge I cannot eat because of this, gestational diabetes. Yes, I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes. When you are pregnant, there is a glucose test that you take during your third trimester, usually around week number 28. They give you like an 8-ounce drink, kind of like sugar water or something to drink. You chug it all within 5 minutes, and they draw your blood 1 hour later, like exactly an hour after you finish drinking that drink. Usually, if your blood levels are a little bit high, they'll call you in for a 3-hour test. For mine, they just said, yeah, no, we're not, you don't need to do you don't need to do the second part, you're legit gestational diabetic. And it went downhill from there. So, gestational diabetes is basically something where, like, you know, during pregnancy, your hormones are all out of whack, and your placenta and your hormones and nothing is working the way that it should to be able to process sugars and glucose the way that it's supposed to during your pregnancy, and it's all because of your hormones, and you know, it is what it is. So here we are, gestational diabetic, and I am diet controlled, thank God. I don't have to take insulin. But I'm very, very limited on what I can eat. I am on a very low carb diet, basically no sugars, low carb. And so yeah, I can't have my cornmeal porridge. And that's like, I dream about cornmeal porridge every single day. And before finding out that I had gestational diabetes, I would constantly consume cornmeal porridge. Like, I think I have a vlog when I was in the when I was living in the extended stay, when I just moved to Phoenix, and I was showing you guys how I was making cornmeal porridge. Cornmeal porridge is one of my favorite Jamaican porridges, and I'm going to use this Kroger brand yellow cornmeal. This is definitely not the cornmeal that we use to make this porridge, but I don't have access to the regular things that I use back home. So I'm going to use this. yeah, so that was my thing. That still is my thing, and I miss it. That's the only thing that I really want. And in my third trimester is when I actually started craving it every single day. Like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I can have caramel porridge, and that's it. That's everything. And now I can't have it. But yeah, third trimester is when gestational diabetes came about. Changed up everything, but you know, no complaining. We're doing this for the baby, the health of the baby. We want to have a safe delivery. We want him to be as healthy as he can be. And so we just do what you got to do. And then for majority of women, the diabetes goes away as soon as you do have the baby, as soon as you give birth. One thing that I can say though is I definitely feel like I've developed that pregnancy like waddle in my third trimester, like full blown waddle. Like I feel like a penguin when I walk. Depending on like the time of day, like I actually kind of like hunch, and like I feel like I need like a cane to walk. Like it's just super weird, but it's like the belly is just there, and the belly is just big, and the belly is just taking up so much space and so much room. It just becomes super difficult to walk all of a sudden. And that's where I am right now in the third trimester. One thing I want to talk about are his movements. He moves so much. It is crazy. Like I almost wish I had another pregnancy to compare this with to know if this is like, if he's just super energetic or if this is like the norm. Okay, because he is all over the place. It feels like he does spread out sometimes, or like sometimes he'll just be like, oh, let me just twist this way and like twist that way and bend over and do some stretches and toe touches. And sometimes it feels like jumping jacks, and other times it feels like he just wants to go like to a gymnastics class or something and just go start tumbling. Like, man, he moves like crazy. At first, you know, when you first start feeling your baby move, they feel like little like flutters, and now it's almost like alien like seeing his body move from this side all the way to the next side. And something that he really does sometimes that's so like weird and funny at the same time is I feel like he bunches up his entire body on one side of my belly. And so like you'll see like one part of your, like one side of your belly like stick out all the way, and the other side is like super flat. It's like, that's something he does, and it's weird but I think it's super funny. But like with every new development, I think it's so cool that there is someone in there that will be needing me way more than I've ever needed myself. And so this is just really thrilling for me. Like I love this experience so far. But yeah, so that's generally my pregnancy recap, trimesters 1, 2, and 3 overviews. And right now we are just in the stretch. We're just in the home stretch, and we are trying to make plans for delivery. I don't know if I'm gonna like have a birth plan or not. I really don't think that I am, but we're just doing like specifics as far as like hospitals and registration and like all of that good stuff. And we started putting together the nursery. We started that process some time ago. Full-blown nesting over here, full-blown nesting. And we're definitely just at the end. We're just here. We're just waiting around every day and watching him kick and roll and tumble and dealing with gestational diabetes for the time being. But that's where we are now. So I hope you guys really enjoyed watching this pregnancy recap, and I enjoyed filming it. I had some fun filming this video, and I'll definitely see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that post notification bell so you can always receive notifications every time I drop a new video, and just stay tuned.